Our four-man field for the Shark Championship features experienced players like Tom Doherty and Marshal Kent, but the other two players have never played on television before. Richie Teece from England and Michigan's Charlie Brown Jr. How will those guys handle the hot lights? Because those lights can mess with your mind and your game. We're going to find out who the best is on the Shark pattern right now.
They look good. They look good. It's over now.
And we welcome you to the Geico PBA World Series of Bowling, the Shark Championship. Presented by Extra Frame. A great crowd on hand here at the National Bowling Stadium with Kimberly Pressler, Randy Peterson, Dave Lamont. And a field of four. We'll have a four-person match settled to two finalists, and then the winner will be the Shark champion. Charlie Brown Jr. and Richie Teece, newcomers to television. Tom Doherty and Marshal Kent understand how to bowl on TV. Now, standing by, we have a mixture of experienced and inexperienced with Kimberly.
We sure do. So, Richie, this is your first time ever on ESPN. Your parents flew in from England to watch you. Yesterday when we talked, you said your nerves were getting to you a little bit today. How are they right now?
Yeah, I'm pretty nervous right now. I'm going to just breathe and just try and throw as many good shots as I can and just try and enjoy the moment.
All right. Well, I wish you the best of luck today. Thank you so much for your time. So, Tom, you've been on shows quite a few times, I think 8 already. So you have experience under your belt. But when we talked yesterday, you said that you actually enjoyed this format where there's 4 you go head-to-head and only 2 advance. Why does this play into your strengths?
Well, I just think that, there's 4 guys. If one guy gets hot, it's okay. Let him run away with it. And just got to beat the 2 other guys. So it's going to be interesting. The lanes are going to change a lot with 4 on a pair. And hopefully I know better than they do.
Well, I wish you the best of luck today. Guys, we're going to send it back to you.
Well, I really loved Richie's strategy. Breathing is always good.
It's recommended,
yeah.
And it will also help you deal with this oil pattern. 45 feet, Randy, as we look at the blue.
Yeah, 45 feet and real slick, real tight down lane because of the length of the pattern. But something we're going to see that we don't typically see on Shark is the players can play out. The outside part of the lane is definitely in play. But Tom Doherty told us on this pattern, speed control is key.
Two-time tour champion Doherty. All 4 bowlers will be competing pretty much at once. No stepladder. The wide right, got a kick. Always good to get that first shot out of the way. We take our look at Charlie Brown Jr. out of Granville, Michigan. His home house in Grand Rapids, the western part of the state, beautiful part of Michigan.
He had the highest average overall of our 4 players.
And as you see, there's nothing subtle about his game.
Everybody has butterflies the first time on television. You just have to find a way to get them to fly in formation. I thought you might like that.
I did like that. All right, let's see how Teece does. Okay, nerves are over, or so you'd think. That was beautifully done by both our TV newcomers. And here's the familiar face of Yakima's Marshal Kent, 4-time titleist. And we saw him in July winning while on the bench in Oklahoma.
Having his best year ever.
And nobody's terribly surprised about that.
No.
A lot of great years to come for this guy.
Oh, boy.
Oops. All right, what happened there?
Wide right. One thing about this long pattern is you can't really have big angles to the front part of the lane.
Boy, this is grip it and rip it right here.
Yeah, he's bringing the heat from out.
Going to try to drive that head pin over, and it did not work. So Marshal Kent starts behind in this 4-person match. Our hammer tough spare replay, and it was indeed difficult.
Yeah, he wanted to get the ball on the other side of the head pin.
Oh, I have not seen much of that. A 4-9. Doherty does not use the thumb hole on his ball.
Of course, he uses it for spares, but for a strike ball, does not.
So an open frame for Doherty in frame number 2.
And isn't it interesting that the two newcomers are out to the early lead?
Well, for a guy who looked really unhappy with the shot, at least you could hear it, I should say, it's okay.
He's got the highest rev rate on the telecast, and that was 10 in the pit. And he didn't like it when he left his hand. I'm not sure why. Sure finished in a good spot.
That's light, and the bucket was busted up. Home center in London, Airport Bowl. His best finish in a tour event, you got to go back to 2014 in the Chameleon Championship in Vegas. Now, he has been a part of the World Series since 2014. We have players from 26 countries in the World Series this year.
And that ball checked at his feet.
Wow.
Just early hook from that shot from Tom. You hear him say, wow, he was surprised by that kind of motion. You got players playing all over the lane right now.
One more, baby. One more, baby. That's 10 straight back.
Charlie Brown Jr.'s ball is reading the pattern perfectly thus far.
That smothered that 6-10. Now back to Kent. You see Marshall bandaged up there. He's got a split finger that he is dealing with.
It looks like he's extremely unsure of his ball reaction.
And Teece gets a kick on the 10.
Marshall's going to try to cover both pins with the bowling ball here.
I better hurry. And a rough start here for Marshal Kent. So ironically, we talked about how would this work, experience versus no experience on TV. It's the guys who have not bowled into the lights, Brown Jr. and Teece, who are off to great starts. The Geico World Series of Bowling PBA Shark Championship presented by Extra Frame is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Reno Tahoe. For your next vacation getaway, go to visit renotahoe.com. By Barbasol Premium Disposable Razors. You're looking good, America. And by Go Bowling. Promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you. Log on to gobowling.com. All right, Randy, it's time for our tournament highlights on the 45-foot shark pattern.
Great matchup with one of Japan's best, Shota Kawazoe, going up against Charlie Brown Jr. Shota bowling full time now here in the States. But it was all Charlie Brown Jr. in this match as he takes down the great one from Asia, 2-zip.
So who else is going to be in this Final Four? Here's Jesper Svensson again, getting close to his show, but not this time. Marshal Kent shut him out in 2.
The next matchup featured Thomas Larson and Tom Doherty. Doherty, the no-thumb specialist, dispatched Thomas 2-zip.
Tom Smallwood, and this is Richard Teece from England. He had to get hot late in order to move on, and he did. And now he put all the heat on Smallwood, who had to strike on this ball. Just a little light. And Richie Teece, an emotional victory for him, making the show. Now, right now, he is managing emotions very well, Teece, but it's Charlie Brown Jr. who's off to a hot start. He's punched in the first 3. And it's time now for Randy with our Track Tech Talk.
Well, we talked to Tom Doherty about some of the keys that he needs to get to the foul line consistency, and part of that is keeping his shoulders back so his feet don't get fast early. And When he keeps his shoulders back, he gets into really good rhythm. He makes great shots, and he throws a lot of strikes when he does that.
And now Charlie Brown Jr. Now this is something else he hasn't had to do, and I've had many boulders, and I'm sure you agree. The toughest shot to throw is the one coming out of the break.
I agree. The one out of commercials, especially for a player who's not used to that.
Sit up. Sit.
Okay, so he's checking off all the boxes here.
Yeah, except for him.
Problem with your nerves apparently taken care of.
Yeah.
Handling the break strike, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not being intimidated by competing against tour champions. Okay, check that off.
Oh boy. 2-8-10. Now Kent, who has struggled the first three.
Ball change.
And a change in results.
And the one thing that Marshall has to do now is string some strikes and apply a little pressure. Make the two new guys think about it.
Whoa! For a split second there was a pin hanging around, but it didn't get all the way over. And now Richie Teece, nicknamed Biscuit. So naturally, we dug around very deeply to find out why, as we take a look at his arsenal, and he's got the Sure lock right now. He happens to be fond of cookies, which in England are called biscuits, and there's a brand that bears the family name, which is just a coincidence. So Biscuit it is. That Biscuit, oh Lord, that is just an awful break.
Look, Tom Doherty's going to change, or he has changed to another orb.
And it orbits 10 pins. Beautifully done there for Tom. And now here is Teece with the single pin. Charlie Brown Jr. had a PBA Tour membership in 2007. Came out and realized I'm not good enough yet. Went to college at Davenport, it's an NAIA school with a fine program. Did very well there, and now he has returned. Oh, and a ringer there. Man, that was another solid shot. And that Biscuit is in the basket.
Gravy train with biscuit wheels.
Marshal Kent, ball change led to a strike in the fourth frame. And what's he throwing now? The no rules Pearl.
And he hasn't been close on this right lane yet.
He is now. Ball change working out for Kent. Good grief, those pins taking a beating from Charlie Brown Jr.
Wow, you did go there. That's pretty clever. I mean, he's flushed 6 straight shots. Pretty impressive. Now, will this ball work on the right lane? Yes, sir.
The guys are picking it up a little bit here in these middle frames. Now Kent going for 3 in a row.
This will make Richie Teece think about it. He strikes here.
Chance.
Got a chance. The pins didn't have a chance. Oh, he knew that was trouble, and he had a bucket, and it was busted up into a 2-8. Now quickly to Doherty. Again, this is a 4-person format. We're not using a stepladder in the animal pattern programs. And then the top highest scores, the top 2 highest scores through the face in trouble there, 4-7-9. The top 2 highest scores will advance to the final. And Tom Doherty in a spot of trouble here. Can he make this?
Well, he left a 4-9 early, but he just left something you don't see very often. That's the 4-7-9. Wow.
Shaved it, didn't he?
Yeah, barely covers the 2-8. Got to get it over here and then throw the 4-pin into the 9.
He went full speed at it.
Yeah, 2 bad breaks for him. 4-9, 4-7-9. Charlie Brown on cruise control. Tom Doherty in big trouble.
Teece left nothing on the deck.
He's got that lane. He hasn't struck yet on the right. Big shot now from Marshal Kent. He can leapfrog Richie Teece and climb into second.
Looking for 4 straight. Ooh, just radar dialed in. Autopilot for Kent. Oh, that was through the face, and there's some trouble. The first time that we've seen Charlie Brown Jr. in a little trouble here. In fact, not a little trouble, a lot of trouble. Spoiler here for Tom.
4-9.
Oh, no, no 4-9s. Not that time.
A little.
That didn't hook at all. And his first bad frame. So now Richie Teece. His favorite bowler? His brother. His older brother, Raymond. Oh, he knew it. You see the fist bump as the ball's going down the lane.
Yeah, he liked it as soon as it left his hand, and that was a good answer for him on that lane.
So now Marshal Kent riding a 4-strike string. 2-time titleist this year.
Oh, that's got to push.
Look at, oh, the messenger.
Are you kidding me?
There it is.
Oh, my. You want to talk about some of the worst pin carry ever.
Well, Doherty there can't bear to watch.
There you go. Come on, one more. All right.
Quiet 10, but it was a good shot.
Yes. Yes, it was. All he has to do is keep it in play, especially after Marshall does this.
Yeah, that's just the worst rub of the green possible. He'll try to bang it off the wall and gave it a great try.
Terrible break.
All right, important here for Brown. Not as easy as it looks when you're trying to make that final. He handles it beautifully.
Tom Doherty max score now 197. And believe it or not, he's still not out of it.
Owner of 13 PBA regional titles. And that's why. 9-pin was a little tardy, but down it goes.
We take another look from profile of Tom Doherty's last strike. Ball takes the 9 out late.
You know, for half a blink, there was a 7-pin standing there until it got taken out.
It was almost an exact replica of frame 8.
And now Teece.
Get there.
Oh my.
Man, that was, to me, a good shot.
Yeah, it was a beautiful shot. Right now, Teece just needs marks and good count. And he will advance along with Charlie Brown Jr.
Which would be rather ironic the way we set this whole thing up with experience versus no experience.
Yeah.
And the two players who have never bowled on television before could be the two who will get an extra game on TV.
I was worried about that one.
Nothing to fear here.
Well, to have any chance, Doherty needs all of them.
That's one.
You never know.
And he knows it too. He's done the math. shot when he really needed it for Charlie Brown Jr.
He's going to bowl for the title.
Doherty still got a fighting chance here. One spot claimed. One to go for Tom. That's a nice finish when he knows he's got it wrapped up. Charlie Brown Jr. is in the Shark Championship finally. He'll be 1 of 2. Now who his opponent is going to be is yet to be determined here.
Well, just like our last telecast, coming down to the 10th frame, Richie Teece certainly is in the driver's seat, but he has to finish the 10th frame.
Tom Doherty had asked for a re-rack, so Brown will take advantage of that to throw a nice shot there, leave behind the 4-pin.
You know why Tom Doherty is taking that re-rack on his fill shot, don't you? To make that man, well, not that man, to make Richie Teece sit on the bench longer. You ever seen anybody re-rack on a fill shot?
No. And that's a pretty nice fill. So Tom will have a 197. Already in. Brown Jr. at 227. Max for Kent is 203. He's still got a chance at that.
And he still has a chance to get into the title match.
So a mark and a little bit more is what Teece needs against Brown Jr. That's a mark.
Pretty good shot. Pretty good shot there, folks. And what could have been for Marshal Kent if it hadn't been for the 8th and 9th frame, where he got absolutely hosed.
No, you could, and the slow start didn't help him either. He fell into a pit almost immediately.
Agreed.
So our Shark finalists had never bowled on TV before. They're now going to get a second opportunity to do so, as Granville, Michigan's Charlie Brown Jr. with a solid 227 will take on London's Richie Teece for the Shark title next. You're welcome back inside the National Bowling Stadium in downtown Reno, the PBA Shark Championship. And of course, PBA.com is your home for PBA live scoring and all the latest PBA news, stats, player bios, and a lot more. Additionally, if you're interested in submitting a video for the Go Bowling PBA Fan Tip of the Week, simply click on the Go Bowling logo on the PBA.com homepage. All that and more at PBA.com. And of course, that must mean it's time for Randy to coach him up with our Go Bowling Fan Tip of the Week. Dave Cooper is our man from Dayton, Ohio. Let's see what Dave's got to worry about.
Hi, Randy. It's Dave Cooper right here in Dayton, Ohio at Poking Lanes. The biggest problem, I've been bowling for 50 years. The biggest problem I have is timing. I find it almost every time I bowl. I'm open for suggestions.
Wow, I just saw Marshal Kent leave one of those. Dave, you know what? I think you have a really nice game. The one thing that I see is a little bit of a hesitation at the top of the swing. My suggestion would be to loosen up and free your arm swing as much as possible so it's more continuous. I think that'll help your timing out a lot. Thanks for sending that in, Dave.
All right, let's get ready for our title match. Charlie Brown Jr. in the foreground, and from England, Richie Teece for the title when we return. Time to determine who is going to be the World Series of Bowling Shark champion. It'll either be Charlie Brown Jr. or England's Richie Teece. Today's Ebonite flashback is going to take us back to the initial PBA Shark Championship. We go to Charm City, Baltimore, AMF Country Club Lanes. Rhino Page, everybody. Tournament leader, he went after the big nasty Wes Malott, Randy, in a low-scoring, very, very tense match.
Well, you can see the old Shark. You couldn't get the ball right of like the 7th board. Otherwise, you'd get 3 off the right and the left. These players are playing in. Rhino Page, how about that break? Trips to 6-7 late.
Malott had come off a 290 earlier, but couldn't match that here. They're ring at 10. That was his last chance. And it's his second career win back in 2008 for Rhino. And congratulations on his big win this year.
Rhino Page winning the US Open. And that was a great matchup with 2 great players.
And from Baltimore, we head west to the National Bowling Stadium in Reno. And we're ready to go. Richie Teece has decided he'll lead it off, and he'll go on the left-hand lane. So we're going to have a first-time winner. Charlie Brown made the decision to let Teece go on that lane. Brown the higher seed. Messenger? No, dropped away. So they've managed their nerves very well. They bowled against 2 very experienced big-name competitors, Kent and Doherty. They won. New set of nerves?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, now that winning for the first time starts to creep in, all the stuff that goes with that, Tournament of Champions berth. Yeah, there's a lot of things that can be creeping in that you don't want to creep in. Right now, the focus is the job at hand, not all of the other stuff, and that's hard to keep out. But again, I think if Charlie Brown Jr. has that same look, he has that same reaction where he can fire it from out without his ball going high, I think it might be tough to beat.
And there's a little bit of that history we talked about with Charlie. 10 years ago, he tried out the tour, realized he just did not have the game to run with that crowd. Oh, and there it goes through the face. And the 4-9 left behind. And that's kind of what you hinted at right there, Randy, earlier.
Get it over into here, throw the 4 into the 9. Doherty left that plus the 4-7-9 last game.
Didn't get too much 4-pin, so an open for Charlie Brown Jr.
And recovery now for Charlie Brown Jr. is key. You know, how does he rebound from that shot?
That's better. That's better.
Yes, it is. That is indeed better. Charlie Brown Jr. recovers very quickly with a solid strike.
Great shot after the tough break in frame 1. Charlie Brown Jr. steps up and aces the next shot.
Richie certainly with a ton of international experience. And beautiful shot for Teece. You hear the Teece chants out of the crowd as we go down to the lane side. Kimberly is standing by with Marshal Kent.
Thanks, Dave. So, Marshall, obviously not the outcome that you wanted for today. It seemed like you struggled in the start, but you did that ball change in the 4th, and it helped you out a bit, but then you had that nasty 7-10 split in the 8th. Why did you have such an issue with this pattern today?
Yeah, I just had some physical issues to start. I just couldn't execute the way I wanted to. I kept throwing everything right and couldn't figure out why, but then I made the ball change, and you know, I put the shots there, and that's all I can do. And sometimes they just don't fall your way.
Physical issues like what?
I honestly couldn't tell you. There's just something about the ball kept fitting my hand, feeding to the right off my hand, and I couldn't figure out why, so I just moved my eyes in to make up for it. And there's some good shots at the end, and that's all you can do.
That's all you can do. Thanks so much for your time, guys.
Well, all Richie can do now is hope that he doesn't leave another big 4. This looks pretty good, and it just checks early on him. Goes right through the face, and he pays for it.
Big swings, and we haven't even finished 3 frames yet. It's all part of the World Series of Bowling number 9. We've already seen the USA defeat a very talented world squad. Liz Johnson making a little bowling history in the show prior to ours. And, of course, the doubleheader next Sunday. Then on New Year's Eve, the big World Championship and the WBT Finals on January 7. Cannot wait to bring them all to you.
Come on.
Solid for Brown.
Beautiful shot here. Stays nice and balanced, and that could have knocked 20 or 30 back.
Come on. Oh, stop.
No. Makeable, but never a fun one there. 3-6-10.
Wait, really?
So both players now experiencing early hook on the left lane, but Charlie Brown left himself the 3-6-10, not the big 4 like Richie Teece.
That's beautifully done.
Yep.
Smothered it right in the pocket of the 3-6. Well, this is going to be a match one of 2 ways. Maybe somebody gets hot.
No, because that thing, as soon as I laid it down, it just checked as soon as it.
I think you just cheat 1 and 1 left and just let your.
Go over it.
I don't think.
I went like, because I was looking at 3 and over here, when it went 4-9, I went to 2 and 2, so I'm looking at 5. When I came over here and looked at 5 and struck, and I went back over here. That's when I grabbed right away.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh.
And so a solid 4-pin. So Randy, translate a little bit of that conversation with Chuck Gardner there and Charlie Brown Jr.
Well, he was telling Chuck where he was looking on the lane, you know, and then
Really caught that one.
Right. So just move a little bit.
Just go 1 and 1. Just go 1 and 1 left.
At 1 and 1 left.
he's telling him to move his feet and his target 1 board to the left on the left lane. And it's funny because normally when you go through the nose today with the bowling balls as strong as they are and the oil patterns we bowl on, you go through the nose, you don't move a board, you move 4 or 5. But this long, slick, shark oil pattern, we'll see if 1 and 1's enough.
Time for our Columbia 300 fun fact. A bowling pin is 15 inches high, weighs between 3.6 and 3.10, in other words, 3 pounds, 10 ounces. The pins on the day's telecast are proper. They all fall within this range, of course.
Get there.
Perfect. Here's Mom and Dad who made the trip from England. Brenda and Morris.
You know, I think what happened at the start of this game was Teece saw some transition, and he paid for it in the 3rd. And Charlie Brown's going through a little bit of transition now as well. I think Charlie Brown's pretty good on the right lane. When he gets to the left lane, he's going to make an adjustment, and if it works, I think he's going to be fine. If it doesn't, we'll see how he manages his game from there. Ooh, that's way right.
Well, every little bit helps there, getting a kick on that 7-pin.
Come on, baby. What is that?
See, now here's a shot that came out of nowhere. This is the mental mind games that you start to play with yourself. You're like, okay, well, where did that come from? You know, and sometimes, especially in this situation, that's not so easy to let go of.
All right, does not let that one completely get away from him, the frame.
Good.
Oh, 7-10 was there for a blink of an eye, and you could see the pin wobble. That meant a messenger was resting on that 10-pin. You
can see the pressure as well, the heavy side and heavy breathing going on with Charlie Brown Jr. It's a good shot here, and a really fast messenger in front.
That's our Barbasol close shave of the day. That messenger that failed in its responsibility. Time for another conversation with Chuck.
Make sure you keep your eyes left. Okay. Don't keep your hand up the back of it. Don't try and shape it.
Okay.
Right?
Just stay on top of it.
Put it shape. All right.
I like that shot better.
He wants him to keep it right on top of the oil and jam it right into the pocket. Don't try to look for down lane reaction. Keep his hand up the back and jam it right in the 1-3.
So Teece off at strike in the 5th, trails by only 7.
Hook a little.
And another weak 10.
The messengers are not coming through today in the Shark Championship.
Not sure he threw that one as well as he would have liked.
And it looks like it is going to be the grinder, the tough, don't make any big mistake match. Nobody running away from anyone here. That is Richie's best finish in his PBA Tour career in his 5th year. Oh, he got a nice break on that light hit.
Shots a little bit. You're pulling up out of them.
I've just saw them, and
See them on the camera?
it's sped up. Every shot sped up.
So you hear him say every
That's what I
shot
said
is
to myself.
sped up.
Well, that'll also happen when you get your ball sitting on top of oil for 60 feet.
Hook.
Oh, no, it didn't hook, and Brown now has lost the form that
Charlie, come on.
got him in the final.
Charlie Brown Jr. is in trouble.
Come on. Let's go.
The scoreboard says he's up 3, but that is deceiving.
Hold on.
Big shot. Nope, missed the head pin there. And he's now fallen behind 9 and off and open in the 7th. He's got to recover, and he has almost no time in which to do it.
I think Chuck Gardner's advice was perfect. Keep your eyes left. Charlie Brown Jr. throws it too hard, too fast, and he's bowling on a pattern that's too long for him to give the head pin away. He needs to keep his lines real tight and his target in front of him.
Sit.
Oh, and he got rid of that 9.
Well, he gets to finish on that lane in the 10th frame, so that might be a good thing. Charlie Brown knows how that lane's going to react, but he needs to figure out the right lane. Let's see if Richie can get the weak 10 out here. If he does, Charlie Brown Jr. might be in a world of hurt. Oh, no. Light again
Good too.
on the right lane.
He said it felt good. So the right lane has become the star of the show here.
Yeah, kind of wiggling down lane now. I think the next time he gets up in the 10th frame on this lane, he needs to move his feet aboard right and leave his eyes in the same spot, and again try to jam it right in the pocket. Back and forth match. It's fair.
So we take a look at the entire scoreboard. And Brown struggled, then got hot, then struggled. And Teece the reverse of that. And now here they are, just 9 pins apart. Teece off a spare and Brown off a strike. We go into the foundation frame. absolutely dead solid perfect.
Well, that was a great shot that Richie threw there, but no matter what he does, he can't shut out Charlie Brown Jr.
You know what? Take what you want.
Why don't you hook anymore?
So what's the answer to that question?
I think the target's too far right. I think his eyes need to be left of that. It also looks like oil's been moved down that lane, and I think it's gotten real tight in front of the head pin. That's why I would have stayed where I was, moved my eyes left, maybe 2 board, and tried to just throw it right at the 1-3.
Oh, he got that.
It's a great cover, and it keeps him alive, but he needs all 3 in the 10th. 3 strikes here in the 10th frame will force Richie Teece to strike first ball. What a great shot.
The good news is he'll be attacking the left lane in the 10th. It's the right lane that has just treated him poorly. Messenger took out a 7-10. Some folks did not see the 7-pin still there.
Well, if he spares strikes, Richie Teece will need a mark to win his first title.
Good shot. Ah, good shot.
So Charlie Brown Jr. and Richie Teece making their television debuts. Beautiful. That's exactly what Charlie Brown Jr. had to do. A 176.
I'm thinking it's Graham Fall, the last player that won, making his first ever telecast. Of course, Graham won a major, but that was the last time I think a first timer won. This young man in that same position right now, any mark, and he's going to win.
But look at the lane. The mortal enemy today is this right-hand lane.
Yeah.
7 spare the last time. And he left a 2-4-5 behind.
Well, there's been 1 strike with 2 players on that lane in this entire match.
Yeah, we had a week 10 before that. Mom and Dad, whatever the cost was to get from London to Reno, probably felt like nothing at all.
You could put a price on being able to be here and sharing this.
That wasn't a bad shot, was it?
No, it wasn't a bad show, Richie. Congratulations to a first-time winner on the PBA Tour. Yeah, they won't regret this trip, ever. They have traveled a long way to see their son become a PBA champion. Richie Teece wins the Shark Championship over Charlie Brown Jr. The Geico World Series of Bowling PBA Shark Championship, presented by Extra Frame, is brought to you by Go Bowling. Promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you. Log on to GoBowling.com. By El Dorado Properties, downtown Reno's El Dorado, Silver Legacy, and Circus Circus, fun for everyone. By the United States Bowling Congress, creating competitive opportunities at all levels as we build a future for the sport. Visit bowl.com for more. And by PBA Bowling Challenge. Bowl against your friends or the PBA pros. Download the free app today. And it is time for our Geico Championship recap. And this is where it all kind of went wrong for Charlie Brown Jr.
Yeah, it was 3 consecutive shots on the right lane that didn't hit the head pin. And this young man steps up in the 10th, needing just a mark. And what better mark is it than the flush 10 back? Richie Teece wins for the first time ever.
Mom and Dad had just flown in from London last night.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Bill.
And what a thrill for them and for Richie Teece. And he was standing by with Kimberly.
And the tears were flowing laneside. Richie, you and your family so excited. Walk me through exactly what you're thinking right now.
Oh, it's a dream come true. I've always dreamed about winning a professional title. I've worked so hard for this. I want to thank all the guys at Storm, Turbo, all my sponsors, Striking Shirts, the bowling center I bowl at, everything.
Well, talk to me about how special it is to have your parents here. They just flew in last night. They came all this way from London to be here and share this moment with you.
Well, at least they made it worthwhile. Oh, it just means the world for me for them to come. It was actually quite a surprise. I didn't expect them to come. I said it as a joke, but they came, and I gave them what they wanted.
You are a PBA Tour titleist. How does that sound?
Incredible.
Congratulations on your win.
Indeed, Richie, congratulations for a fabulous performance, and welcome to the Winner's Circle and the Tournament of Champions in February. Coming up, the PBA Cheetah and Scorpion Championship Sunday at 1 and 2 Eastern. For Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Lamont. We thank you for watching World Series of Bowling Shark Championship.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.